Atmosphere then building up for this crunch match, and quite a few Leeds supporters have braved the atrocious traffic jams on the M62 to come and witness this game, and they're in pretty good conditions this evening. Fortunately, it's dry. It's been a bit damp and dreary in Wigan so far today, and that has left the pitch a bit slick and slippery and could make handling a bit difficult. The weather forecast is that it's going to be unsettled. We might see the occasional shower, a light to moderate wind, and a pretty mild temperature of 8 degrees centigrade.
Well, there is a supporter. I wouldn't like to say who he is supporting. One up, one down. Well, I'm sure he is in for a treat here tonight at Central Park. It is one of the occasions of the season, as we have been saying all night. And Wigan welcome their team onto the field. The champions for the past 4 seasons. And my, how Leeds would love to take that championship pennant across the Pennines to Headingley at the end of this season. Wigan remain the team to beat. Anyone who finishes above Wigan this season will obviously have a wonderful chance of finishing up as champions. There's the side that they hope will do the business tonight against Leeds. Botica, Robinson, Bell, Lydon, Ellison, Wright and Edwards, Skerritt, Hall, Gildart, Betts, Mather and Clark. And Leeds have travelled over the Pennines in good heart after their best start since 1988. One change because Andy Gregory is out injured with ankle damage, so Schofield moves to scrum half. Holroyd is the standoff. Otherwise the side is as beat Warrington last Sunday on Sky. Tate, Fallon, Iro, Innes and Irving, Holroyd and Schofield, Harman, Lowe's, Scott, Mercer, Schultz, and Ellery Hanley the captain. Perfect conditions for playing, the pitch in absolutely magnificent condition, and Wigan have substitutes Sam Panapa, the Kiwi, and Andrew Farrell on the bench. And for Leeds, it's 2 newcomers this summer, Gary Rose, who only arrived indeed last week, and Steve Parish. Match referee is John Holsworth from Kippax. 16 major finals, I make it, that he has controlled, and he has officiated in rugby league throughout the world. Without doubt, one of the big league's top officials. Nigel Wright, big price tag, starting to fit into the Wigan way of doing things. Sin-binned against Wakefield, his former club, last Sunday, and substituted against Hull on the opening day. So Nigel Wright is yet to complete a full 80 minutes for Wigan in the cherry and white hoops. It could be a battle royal with the other youngster, Graham Holroyd. He had a major influence when he came on as a substitute against Castleford and scored a try, and he certainly contributed to the turnaround in fortunes in the match against Warrington just last Sunday. Crackling atmosphere at Central Park for this one. Steve-O, we've said it all night, one of the big games of the season.
You can feel the tension, and it's going to be important for both sides to try to settle down. I think the opening 5 minutes will be real firecracker stuff.
We're underway. Lydon kicks off. Ball hangs in the air, and immediately we have a kicking duel. Ball clipped downfield. Botica had moved up. There's a wall of Leeds players to face him, and that's good tactics.
Excellent kick there. Shows the confidence of the young 17-year-old Graham Holroyd. Got the ball, bang it straight down the field.
But Leeds have been penalised for holding Botica down in the tackle. First penalty, half a minute gone, and John Holsworth, Mike, is making his intentions known early doors too.
Well, the referees do it early. We've seen it also this season, but let's hope that they continue on with it. That means that we'll get good open play. That's what we want.
This is Ian Gildart. Dummy half is Hall, and now Betts straight at Ellery Hanley. Hanley and Schofield wrestling Dennis Betts down. Crowd roaring for another penalty. John Holsworth shaking his head this time. Here's Dean Bell. Hall the dummy half. Nigel Wright to Sean Edwards. He brings Mather into the play. Slip ball from Mather to Philip Clark. Last tackle for Wigan. Right, hoists the bomb, diagonal. It's gone this way. A great take. Alan Tate coming up with the ball, wonderful catch.
Oh, you could see there that the fullback put his body on the line. He knew that the Wigan attack was coming towards him. Interesting to see in that play just previous to that Nigel Wright took first man and Sean Edwards was out wide. Usually it's the other way around.
It's a ferocious start from these two giants of the big league. Tackling will be unrelenting throughout. Look at the way the forwards piling in. Left-footed kick downfield. Good kick too. Clipped over the top. Ellison, the winger in Martin O'Fire's jersey, picks up, and Leeds had strayed inside the 10-metre mark. They must give the player receiving the kick downfield 10 metres grace before they close in.
Well, perhaps Leeds were lucky to not be penalised on the first occasion. Fright from the kickoff when Holroyd pumped it way down into the Wigan quarter. Quite obvious the tactics from the Leeds coach, Doug Lawton, is that let's not play in our half. Let's get the ball down there and hope that Wigan make a mistake.
Kelvin Skerrett picks up. Martin Hall, the dummy half. That's Gildart. Ian Gildart deputising for Andy Platt. And stealing the ball, or an attempt to steal the ball by Ellery Hanley. Penalty against Leeds. Hanley doesn't agree.
Interference, you'll see Hanley just put the left hand down there, knock the ball to the ground. Can't beat an experienced referee like John Holdsworth with a little cheeky trick like that. The penalty count certainly going Wigan's way.
3-0 on the penalty count to Wigan so far. 0-0 on the scoreboard. Just over 3.5 minutes of this match gone. Edwards with the little darting run, jinking inside. Eventually it was Kevin Iro who pulled him down. Hall, the dummy half again. Right, stepping from one side to the other, bringing the ball back inside. Ball dropped, play on, says the referee. Now he blows the whistle. No try. Knock on the decision.
Nigel Wright trying to get the ball out there, but you can see now, did Tate, the fullback, drag that ball away? Good play there by Barry John Mather. Really did support the man, but Nigel Wright, nice little step through. Mentioned before the game that it was important that Nigel Wright and Sean Edwards combination may hold the key against Graham Holroyd and Gary Schofield, youngsters, and of course with the experience of Schofield and Edwards, but the combination in the early part has been excellent from the two halfbacks, Wright and Edwards.
Treatment required for Ian Scott, the prop forward, who joined Leeds as Sean Wayne, the former Wigan man, went to Workington Town in the opposite direction. Schofield feeds. He actually told me last night he fed the scrum during the 1984 Lions tour when Neil Holding was injured down under, but it's a role that he is not terribly accustomed to. But that's good tackling on Gary Mercer. Leeds are playing at the moment in their own quarter and they can't get out.
Good defence though from Wigan. You can see how they're moving up quickly. That's pretty high there by Edwards.
Referee has him. Penalty to Leeds, their first.
Difference in size there, but you can see the left arm going well and truly over the top. Armand, the man receiving it, perhaps hit the ball first, but the intention was going high. Penalty is given.
Lowe's will restart and finds Fallon. Takes 3 to bring the Leeds winger down. Try against Warrington last week for Fallon. This is Neil Harmon. Always relishes a battle against Wigan, the former Warrington man. Now Schofield running across the face of play, and Nigel Wright, the man who met him.
Well, good run by Schofield there. He was looking for Gary Mercer on the inside.
And Schofield has milked that for the penalty.
Such at the youngster in there, trying to get up there, and you can see it's quite clearly that Wright is all over the top of him. You must roll away. You can't go over the top. See on the replay, Wright does a good job at tackling and then goes all over the top. Quite rightly a penalty there, but just getting back to the fact that Schofield was running across at the angle, Mercer was coming at the dummy on the inside, and he was actually looking for the fullback Alan Tate, who'd read it wrong. That's one move that they didn't get right.
So an early chance here then for Leeds to put points on the board, courtesy of the boot of Simon Irving. A survivor, there are only two, and Gary Schofield is the other, of the 19-0 victory here by Leeds in 1991. Irving then with this chance for 2 points. And he's kicked it. The Leeds supporters celebrate. The Wigan supporters don't like it. They didn't like the decision in the first place, and that hurts. 2-0 down.
Never any doubt about it. That was a penalty. Young number 6 from Wigan, Nigel Wright, all over the man. Schofield had no chance to get up and play the ball.
Gary Mercer will run this ball out. Dennis Betts leading the chasers. Ellison was there too. Fallon brought down for Leeds. Now Neil Harmon. Interesting, Dennis Betts. Oh, there's a mistake from Leeds. It was the prop forward, Ian Scott, drops it.
But of nerves there, you could see quite clearly that the youngster was looking at Skerritt coming in for the tackle. A lot of pressure, big crowd, tension is high.
I was going to say, Dennis Betts said he thought that the match would be won in the forwards, and he is one of the forwards on the way now. Clark, the ball to Robinson, and that's a try for Jason Robinson. And isn't he delighted? But Leeds, I think, are claiming that perhaps it was a forward pass. But Robinson over for his third try. A try in every one of Wigan's games so far.
Well, they can claim for a forward pass, but it was a great move by Clark. He noticed that they were slow to get out on the blind side, and Leeds were caught napping there. The loose forward, Ellery Hanley, you'll see. They break away. No time to come in there. Both Schofield and Irving went for the one man. The ball went out wide. Look at the perfect timing here. See how he committed both the players. Left an easy run, but it had to be scored. The positioning was wonderful, but what a great run from the loose forward, Phil Clark, thinking all the time.
And how about the victory shimmy from Jason Robinson? As I say, try now in every one of Wigan's games at the start of this season. Super try against Leeds at Headingley last season. Leeds born, of course, Jason Robinson from the east of the Pennines, but now a big favourite here at Central Park, as is this man, Frano Botica, the goal kicker supreme. Wigan lead 4-2, this for a 6-2 lead. Botica will kick them from anywhere.
This is one of the oldest tricks in the book. You see how the scrum is swirling round. There's Ellery Hanley, he should be here. Look at the gap, there it goes through. Oh, beautiful thinking. Great play by the Wigan pack, but look how Clark draws in the two men. And Billy the Wiz in for the third of the season.
And no doubt from that aerial view of that try that pass from Clark was absolutely legal. Dennis Betts with the run. Well, the Wigan crowd are a little happier now. The champions ahead, 6 points to 2, 11 minutes gone. A pulsating match in prospect and in progress.
Well, quite a few people say there's not much finesse can come from the forwards, especially when they're backing down. But I can assure you that was meant to happen. The wheeling of the scrum and Clark picking the ball up from the base.
But here's Clark now on this run, and the ferocity of the challenge. The ball springs out of his grasp.
And it was a legal tackle by Harmon. You could see that it went onto the shoulder.
Now Graham Holroyd, 17 years old. What a match for him. Kevin Iro, former Wigan favourite. First time back at Central Park since he left the club. James Lowe's going nowhere. Schofield in it, dummy half this time.
This Wigan defence really mean business. They're on the boil.
Hanley used Schultz as a bit of a decoy. That's a great run from Hanley. And great tackling from Betts to bring him down. Wigan all over the Leeds captain. Fallon pushes them off. Iro to Holroyd, who waited for it. Now Schofield. 3 men on the overlap out wide. Mercer gets the ball out to the far side. Irving. Good defence from Wigan though. Magnificent sliding defence. Bell and Robinson cut the options down.
Or Robinson went low and then Bell come over the top to finish him. Irving was trying to get the ball back inside with the left arm. Super stuff.
It was on the last tackle, so Wigan automatically received the ball, have to play the ball. The champions moving forward with Edwards. 5 titles for Wigan in 7 seasons. Only Widnes in 1988 and 89 under Doug Lawton have broken their hold on the championship. But Sean Edwards there injured in that tackle and will need attention from Dave Fever.
Well, there you can see quite clearly, couldn't you? The swinging arm from the hooker, James Lowe's, and he didn't miss. There he comes, whoa! Right under the jaw. We could see it. The man with the whistle didn't.
So the referee tells Wigan to get on with it, move the ball away from the injured player, Edwards. That's a good kick downfield, stays in play. Now here's Alan Tate, running the ball out from the danger zone, met by Dean Bell. Schofield, then he brings another of the forwards, Ian Scott, into it. Harmon. Knock on. Referee spotted it. Harmon, I think, thinks the ball was stolen from him.
Well, you can see the impact there. John Mayer, they're trying to pull the man down, and quite frankly, I think he just lost control of it there. Mayer grabbing hold of the shirt, not the ball, and as it just hit the ground, it squeezed out. Good decision.
Nigel Wright almost away, but that's good tackling by Holroyd. Botica, the dummy half. Handling errors 2 apiece. On the scoreboard, it's 6-2 in Wigan's favour. Hall to Edwards. To Clark. Bell with the protective head guard. Martin Hall likewise with the ears taped down. Here's Bell. Big challenge on him. It was needed and it was produced by Irving. Edwards hoists the kick across field. Iro called that was his, despite the fact that Fallon was behind him.
Well taken there by the Kiwi centre. It was a good kick as well by Edwards. You notice that Wigan are working the blind side and then opting for that kick right across the face of the goalpost.
Leeds have beaten Castleford and Warrington in their opening 2 matches of the season. Ian Scott has made quite an impact since he arrived from Workington, maintaining his place in the front row. Hanley is ever present so far. Offside. But you know, I think it's offside against Leeds. Irving, the man pinned by referee John Holdsworth.
Well, he's got him for the downtown ruling. There you can see Irving right out onto your right-hand part of the screen. Now the ruling states that the defending side must be 10. That's 10 metres back. And the attacking side must be 5. And there you could see quite clearly Irving was on his way downtown, as they say in our game these days. Well, I'm afraid the bus was stopped quickly by the referee, John Holdsworth. No visit for shopping for him, and this should be an easy 2 points.
John Holdsworth quick to penalise Leeds there. So it gives Frano Botica another attempt. Kicked the conversion from a more difficult angle than this, following Robinson's try. And this kick for an 8-2 lead. Well, the crowd tell you he's slotted over another. That's the round dozen for Frano Botica this year. His 12th successful kick of the campaign.
Just keeps rolling along, doesn't he?
And Simon Irving, perhaps he will not be quite so quick to move up next time.
It causes a lot of confusion, does that? That's a pretty rare penalty from referees. And it also causes confusion with the Leeds coach Doug Lawton, because we saw early in the game that they wanted to kick and chase. That'll make them a little bit more hesitant now. Perhaps they'll have to change their tactics.
Wigan have been picked up for a forward pass. Mather can't believe it. Neither can Edwards. But Holdsworth says it was forward.
Well, he didn't look it to me. I know he did the dummy and held it late.
Big chance for Leeds then. Quick hands. Innes finds Iro. Iro on the run. They know all about him at Wigan. But that's good defence again. Wright, Lydon and Bell were all there waiting for him out wide.
Good second effort by Wigan's defence there. They scramble back quickly.
Hanley will want to have a big game here. Gets the ball out to Fallon. There are 4 men ahead of Jim Fallon, and there continues to be 4 men, even though he moved inside, ducking under the challenges. Lowers the dummy half to Holroyd, and this time Wigan caught offside right under the posts.
Well, John Holdsworth, has he bought a brand new whistle? He's certainly given it plenty of air tonight.
Mather, the man picked out by him.
It's quite obvious that they were offside. But does that stop the momentum of the Leeds side? Well, really were throwing that ball about very, very fast indeed. Wigan were becoming their own worst enemy, mainly by the fact that they were trying to go too high. You could see when the skipper, Ellery Hanley, made the break, Edwards went high, and then everyone else, Lydon had to go high. And he was making good forward progress. But I think this perhaps has stopped the Leeds momentum when they were looking to score a try.
Simon Irving then, 8 tries in his last 10 Leeds games, but here he is with another 2 points from the boot. All 4 points for Leeds belong to Simon Irving. Wigan ahead 8-4, and we're midway through this first half.
Well, surely the message would have got through to all the players and the 2 coaches from the man in the middle, Mr. Holdsworth. I'm the boss. We all know now. Let's get on with the game. Let's have some good open football.
Referee certainly on top of his game so far. And Joe Lydon restarts for Wigan. Underneath it, Holroyd. Gary Mercer to run it at Dennis Betts. Met shoulder to shoulder. Here's Ian Scott. Harmon. Ball's come free. Referee looks to the touch judge for some guidance, and the decision is knock on. But Neil Harmon is not happy with that.
Didn't appear to be, did he? And that was whipped out. That was a little flick by Nigel Wright, who quickly looked at the referee and said, "Who, me? Wouldn't do such a thing." I think he did.
It's given Wigan vital possession at the scrum, and that is Nigel Wright, who disappears under those three Leeds bodies. Received a bit of treatment then. This is Edwards. Betts, the dummy half. Leeds, never out of the first division, never champions in the two-division era. Defending here as Mather finds Botica out wide to Ellison, and that's a good tackle by Jim Fallon. But Wigan are creeping closer and closer still, and Mather is over for his fourth try of the season. Leeds caught cold in defence. Mather with the big smile. BJ comes up with number 4.
Inexperience told here, the ball coming out wide. It was good defence initially. Botica chiming in from full back. The youngster went to it. Now that was a good tackle by Fallon, but this is where they make the mistake. Who's on the blind side? No one. And the youngster Barry John Mather takes full advantage of it. This was excellent play, but equal to the task was the defence. Beautiful the way that Botica chimed in. Now this is where they got the plaudits, but I'm afraid the brickbats are coming just now. That's it. Iro went on the open side. Fallon had left it open. He took advantage.
So Mather plunders his fourth try of this campaign. Given the chance ahead of Andy Farrell by coach John Dorahy, and one or two people maybe scratching their heads to wonder why the impact that Farrell made at the back end of last season. But he's now scored 4 tries in the opening, well, not yet 2.5 matches of the brand new season. Botica then, this time from the other side of the field. It doesn't matter. This fellow is priceless. Goal kicker supreme, and Wigan have a 10-point lead.
You can't play piggyback in defence, and there's 3 Leeds defenders doing just that. The youngster in the second row says, "Thank you kindly, I'll take 4 for all your pain."
So it's an uphill battle for Leeds, but they have come from behind in their past 2 matches. They have had to retrieve a situation against Castleford and Warrington. Can they retrieve this one against Wigan? Mather, the try scorer. Wigan all over him. Leeds all over him, rather. Wigan seeing more of the ball than Leeds, and that's why they're 14-4 up, with coming up to 25 minutes on the watch, and why they're starting to move the ball about with Dennis Betts, but he drops it. Neil Harmon couldn't reel it in, but the referee will play first knock on. It will be Leeds to feed at the scrum.
Clark feeding Betts there. You could see Betts was on his way upfield before taking possession of it. You could see he was looking at the gap. It was there as well. Got to make sure of the football first, though.
Vital that Leeds get some reward in this set of 6. That's not the best pass, though, from Holroyd. But well done, Irving. He got the ball back. The referee says play on. Irving got it with his boot, and Hanley down the centre of the field.
Bit of a swinging arm there as well, involved in that tackle.
Schofield, good ball to Schultz. Schultz drops it. Well, Holroyd with the careless pass and Schultz with the dropsy. The youngsters, I'm afraid, at the moment, struggling a bit for Leeds.
That was pressure that brought that about. Bell going in very hard. The impact just jogging the ball free. A bit damp out there. Remember, it has been raining over this part.
And the atmosphere, Mike, quite electric, and quite a big ask of 2 youngsters like Holroyd and Schultz to settle down in this sort of fervour.
Well, it won't be easy for them, and as we know well, that when the Wigan crowd get behind their team, they've been a bit slow to start, but at 14-4, You just get a bit of deja vu about this, don't you?
It was Nigel Wright's kick downfield that is collected by Fallon. That was a forward pass to Iro. It was a mile forward. The referee let that go. And a good job for Leeds that he did. Alan Tate has begun the season strongly. This is his ultimate test as well.
This is where the Leeds forwards really have to roll up the sleeves, get down to the hard graft.
Irving, it's a good run. Through 2 and then 3, but that was a great saving tackle. Nigel Wright, the man who came in with it. Leeds, though, will continue this attack along with Holroyd. Hanley at dummy half. Tate. He once scored 3 tries against Wigan for Widnes. Hanley has it now, though, and here's a try for the former Wigan skipper. He will enjoy that moment. Quicksilver attack in the end from Leeds, and don't write the men from Headingley off just yet. Ellery Hanley will have savoured that moment against his former club.
They're becoming the comeback team of the season so far. Tate it was back on the inside, backed up by the hooker James Lowes. He did the right thing. He knew that the skipper was inside him. There really was no defence there at all. It was just a matter of switching the ball back inside from the fullback, Tate. And they're back in business. The defence just caught napping a little bit. There you see, they moved off, they held back off it. The sliding defence has got to move in sharp. You saw Bodiger make an awful attempt to try to get the interception. Wouldn't have made any difference because Lowes had full control of that. Excellent play.
Hanley, and he had the presence of mind to bring the ball back towards the posts before touching down to make this conversion attempt from Simon Irving a good deal easier. And Irving comes up with the 2-point reward. Leeds back in business at Central Park.
You can see the sliding defence there has not moved across. That's the gap. The ball goes back inside, and that is enough. The hooker is away. Hanley was standing in front. Good support play. And a clear run to the line.
So Leeds, who came back from the dead against Warrington last week, are back in business. What great games we've had for you on Friday night's Big League on Sky so far this season. Oldham Bradford last week, Castleford against Leeds on the opening Friday of the season, and now this. I think the Big League providing the money's worth this season.
Sure is. BIG, big in everything. That really was good play. Teams are somewhat vulnerable. Just a few minutes have to score in a try.
Ellison had to trap that ball. It gave Fallon the chance to close in for the kill. Betts keeps the ball alive. This is Botica. Half an hour of this crackling Big League battle between Wigan and Leeds gone, and it's Wigan ahead by 14 points to 10. But we have a battle royal in progress. Edwards drops one over the top. It won't find touch. These days, they don't want the ball to find touch. They want to force the mistake from the defending side.
That was a wonderful kick there by Sean Edwards. Just stopped midway through the 10 metre and the 25 mark. I just get the impression that Leeds just stepped up a gear. A lot more enthusiasm now. They've been rocked by those 2 tries, but what a way to come back. Hard work now and take them through. If they can keep it like this all the way to the half-time break.
It was a strong run from Iro. Last tackle. Leeds deep in their own territory, but Schofield, that's a good kick over the top. Now the chasers must arrive because Botica slipped then and the tacklers have turned up in numbers. Well, Bill Arthur's news of a possible substitution by Wigan.
One of Wigan's talented youngsters, Andy Farrell, waiting very patiently on the sidelines for his chance to get on the pitch, and it looks as though it's going to be Dennis Betts will be coming off in a tactical substitution. Betts has had a pretty strong first half hour or so, but it looks as though they want to get young Farrell on in place of Betts.
Gildart it is with the strong run. Dennis Betts, I think he's had a little brief look to the sidelines. He knows it's his number that is going to be held up shortly for him to vacate this Central Park arena to make way for Andrew Farrell. But not just yet. Edwards, Wigan running it on the last tackle with Betts. From Clark it goes in field to Botica. Botica continues the movement to Mather. Mather to Lydon. Lydon saw Robinson was in acres of space out there. Tried to clip the ball forward with the boot and instead only found Simon Irving.
Well, perhaps a bad option there by Joe Lydon, because you could see quite clearly that Simon Irving had sensed that there was going to be danger for the kick. He dropped back. Intelligent play there.
14-10, Wigan lead. 32 minutes on the clock. Iro for Leeds. Great ball to Fallon. Fallon, did he have a foot in touch? Touch judge was spot on and said no, play on. Schofield, long pass, finds Holroyd. Holroyd dabs it through, he saw a gap. Botica has to be quick. Botica wants kick but drops it. The referee will bring it back for the knock-on and Leeds will have the feed.
Wonderful play by the young 17-year-old kid, Graham Holroyd. He could see that Wigan didn't have a sweeper. Botica had to come across, made a right meal of it. Leeds in with a great chance just before the half-time break.
And Wigan will make the change. Andrew Farrell will come on and Dennis Betts it is, as Bill Arthur told you, who will come off. So a forward for a forward. But wasn't that a great piece of play from Graham Holroyd that has given Leeds this opportunity? And here's Holroyd again. I was critical of the youngsters, Mike, but my word, that was a terrific little kick forward.
Well, you doubted the fact perhaps that they could handle the pressure here. Central Park really is a hotbed of rugby league in this country. But he showed there that he's a thinker all the time.
And he's in possession again now to Schofield. Juggling with it, just gets the ball. The pass was good. Mercer finds Irving in field to Innes. Schofield slips, knock on. Leeds say that they didn't touch it.
Well, the ball back inside there now. Well, that doesn't look a knock on to me. I thought the ball bounced into Schofield. But Schofield previously with a long pass out wide, he could see that Sean Edwards had raced out of the line of defence and was so eager to get the ball over the top of Edwards. That was creating the extra man, but it just was a bad pass. A good pass perhaps would have got that extra space.
Five minutes from half-time in this first half. The 35 minutes has raced by here, and Wigan ahead 14 points to 10. Just 4 in it. Another try up to half-time will be, well, priceless is the word, that I've used that in terms of Botica already this evening. Edwards, typical jinking, scampering run from the Wigan scrum half. Hall, right over the top. Tate racing back to collect. Tate it was who launched the attack from which Leeds scored their try. Not this time though. Fallon. Hanley. Wigan crowd appealing for the forward pass. John Holsworth will have none of it. Schofield. Holroyd, quick hands, had to be. Found Innes. Good tackling. Dean Bell. Irving.
It had to be a great tackle there by the skipper, Dean Bell, because again we saw Sean Edwards coming out of that line and taking the gamble. They're going to get caught, Wigan, if he continues with that, and that is a woeful kick.
Schofield hangs his head in despair. He was under pressure for the kick and only found touch.
He hurried into that kick. Not the best. They're on the rack now. Defence has to be good.
Hall at dummy half. That was right. He helped it to Edwards. Edwards called in field. Tackling not too much to choose between the two sides. Now Hall again. Wright made a decoy run. He found Clark. Clark out to Robinson. Robinson in for two. Second try, Jason Robinson. He had lots of room out there, and Wigan have attacked down the right-hand touchline twice and come up with the tries.
They use the blind side so well, don't they? Beautiful pass here from the hooker. Long ball out wide to Clark, who loves nothing better than to go out wide there. You saw Simon Irving. He knows that he was left in no man's land. Blindside move. Wigan up. Absolute perfectionists at this. Clark, who loves on the blind. No man's land for Irving. He should have been out wide. Sliding defence was nowhere to be seen. And one of the best finishes in the game. In for another try.
Jason Robinson and Barry John Mather, both 4 tries apiece for Wigan this season. The two teenagers striking gold. Now what odds will you give me that Botica kicks this? 20 metres out exactly, on the touchline. Even money?
You know I'd never bet. Not when this man's running in to kick the little white thing.
You'd have lost your money. Tremendous kicking. Botica, the star of the show in the kicking department.
You can see quite clearly Irvine there is in an open space. Ball goes out wide and Robinson has the speed. Look at that. Watch him slide before. Excellent play. No chance of any defender coming over on the top, knocking him in. Low to the ground. Excellent stuff.
10 points the gap again then for Leeds to make up. And we're deep into the last minute of normal time, plus whatever is going to be added on by the timekeepers. Mather takes the tackle from Mercer and Hanley.
That was a bit of blow there to Leeds' chances. They were hoping to hang on there, but you can never allow Wigan any latitude whatsoever. They work that blind side so well.
Here's Ian Gildart. Clark, again attacking down that blind side, but having to come inside and take the tackle from Schultz and Lowe's. Edwards drops the ball over the top. Fallon is there waiting for it. Didn't make much progress before tackled by Nigel Wright with a bit of help from Andrew Farrell. We're in stoppage time now. This is Kevin Iro.
He felt that one. Skerritt really put the right shoulder into him.
Almost a minute of added time played. Hanley pulled down. Good tackling. Harmon. Ball fed out wide to Irving. Innes has gone for the run around and it almost didn't come off for them. It's the last tackle for Leeds. It's with Holroyd. Good kick. Super kick. But unfortunately just too much meat behind it. No, it's not going to run dead. Held up. Botica has to work it away and makes 20 metres ground.
Oh, super play there. The kick's wonderful. The defence is equal to it.
There's the half-time siren. Wigan are ahead by 20 points to 10. They have bossed this first half, but Leeds have certainly not been out of it, and Robinson with 2 tries has certainly caught the eye for Wigan. And Wigan have a 20 point to 10 advantage. Now, we have been emphasising the start that Leeds have made to this season, but it's also worth noting at this point that Wigan, in the 4 years that John Money had control, and of course Wigan went on to win the championship in each of those 4 years, they have never won the first 3 matches of a season. What a start it would be for them if they won this one here tonight then. Team tackling, Wigan, despite their advantage on the scoreboard, have done a lot more work than Wigan in the tackling department. Scrums and penalties and handling errors level pegging, and 50-50 as far as the first half possession is concerned. Ellery Hanley led Wigan to 3 championships. He would love to do the same for his hometown club. That remains his burning ambition, even at the age of 32. And Jason Robinson, the man who began his career at Hunslet Parkside in Leeds, well, he has really made his hometown team suffer for a couple of lapses in concentration down the blind side in that first half. Leeds have made a change. Gary Rose has come on for Ian Scott, the prop forward. And so Doug Lawton just shuffling his pack and hoping to come up with a combination that will again bring Leeds back into this match and pick up their 3rd win of the season. 2 sides defending 100% records at the start of this campaign. Wigan in possession. In Gildart. Hall was the dummy half. Phil Clark on halfway, grounded by Schultz and Mercer, the second row Leeds combination. Edwards. Kick over the top. It won't run dead. Tate will take his time. Remember, Wigan have got to hang back 10 metres before they're allowed to close in, and Farrell did just that and brought him down. Here's Jim Fallon.
Good thinking there by the Leeds fullback Alan Tate. He realised that they had to be 10 metres away. He could take all the time in the day. Only one person can put everyone on side, and that's the kicker, of course.
Harmon, strong run down centre field, skipped through the challenge of Edwards. Brought down though by Botica and Clark. Lowe's, dummy half to Schofield. Schofield with the outside of his boot. Finds touch this time.
So important, the kicking game this time. Gary wouldn't be pleased that the ball did actually finish up in touch, but at least it applies the pressure, puts them in with a chance. They've got to play with confidence, Leeds. They know that they can't just grind away, even though they came back so well against Warrington last weekend. I just cannot see a Wigan side capitulating as much as Warrington did in the last 15 minutes. But you never know in this game.
Wigan in possession. Danny Ellison. Haven't mentioned, of course, that Leeds are without Andy Gregory since this match began. We mentioned it in the build-up. And that Wigan are without Martin Dermott, Andy Platt and Martin Afire. You would hardly notice the fact that Wigan are without those 3 internationals. Here's Nigel Wright. Stunning run down centre field. Lowe's is hobbling back, and penalty against Matt Schultz. Wouldn't get off the tackled player.
That's what he became famous for, Nigel Wright. slowing the game down, looking for the opening. It's amazing, these ball players who can just stop. And you can see why the penalty was given. Second row, Matthew Schultz was the victim of the penalty. But it's nice to see great players, young players like Nigel Wright. You saw quite clearly how he just slowed the game down, looked for the opening. And the Leeds defence, they just hesitate. Sign of a wonderful player.
Well, James Lowes is receiving treatment from Stuart Walker, and this is the way he got the injury. Lydon, the man who fell on his right leg, and the referee just stopped the clock while Lowes, who had to jog back and get into position after this incident, and then collapsed and crumpled in a heap and took the treatment from the Leeds physio. He's all right, he carries on. But the resultant penalty means another opportunity for Frano Botica. 4 out of 4 for the Wigan fullback. All the previous 4 out wide on either touchline. This one about 38 metres from the posts and almost bang in front. Botica just steadying himself. This time he misses. The ball went dead though. Wigan will get it back from the dropout on the 20-metre zone.
Could tell by the ironic cheer from the Leeds supporters who travelled over the M62 that that was way off target.
Clark collects it on his knees. Hall at dummy half. Farrell. Whoa, Hanley felt that. The big raw-boned teenager ran straight at Ellery Hanley, and Hanley had to go back 5 paces before he was brought down.
Wigan beginning to use the forwards to get over that advantage line. There you see it.
And again with Gildart. They look eager for business. Wright slipped. But 20 metres out, Wigan in possession with Edwards. Now Skerritt. Skerritt clips one over the top. That's a good take by Alan Tate.
Well, it shows you the confidence in a side when a prop forward decides to start doing the fancy stuff. Didn't know Kelvin Skerritt had that sort of tricks in his bag.
Nigel Wright penalised for holding Simon Irving down.
Quite clearly, Flopper also going in there. The man was already tackled. He's been keen on it tonight as the referee John Holdsworth, and rightly so.
Well, 5 minutes of this second half gone. Let's hear from Bill Arthur what was said by the coaches during the half-time break.
First of all, Eddie, the reason Ian Scott's come off for Leeds is that early on in that first half, you might have noticed he took a bang on his right arm. Well, he stayed on, but in fact, he was in some considerable pain. He'd got a badly bruised arm, trapped a nerve, and that prevented him from moving his fingers, which might explain why he'd spilled a couple of balls during that first half. He refused to come off, eventually had to be persuaded at half-time to leave the pitch. So that's why Ian Scott's come off, and Doug Lawton wants his men to hold out against Leeds in the first 20 minutes of this second half, and maybe they'll still be in with a chance. The word from Wigan is that they're going to carry on as they were in the first half. Keep up the pressure, try and get some more points on the board, and cut out the 1 or 2 errors they were making.
It's Leeds in possession with Holroyd. Just dabs that one forward along the ground. That can bounce anywhere. And Botica picked it up and slid away. And Iro hauled him back by the collar. Good play from both sides.
Yes, Botica put his body on the line there. The big Kevin Iro was coming at him. Once again, a nice little kick from Graham Holroyd. That's the type of thing that Leeds have to do. They realise they're into a catch-up situation. Oh, that's high!
Mercer, the offender, on Mather. He doesn't think it was high, but referee Holdsworth does.
Every picture tells a story, and that is a painful story. Big second rower Nearly got him off his feet. A few words being said to New Zealand international Mercer.
Yes, Mercer with the tackle, Lydon with the penalty. But Mercer, the man from New Zealand who regained his place in the tests against Australia for New Zealand this summer. The rain is absolutely pouring down here at Central Park now. As Wigan roll forward with Farrell and now Clark on the diagonal run.
What a great game the loose forward Phil Clark's having. Thinking all the time, switching the play. You'll notice that the forwards now are running up the angles.
Bottica with that run. Iro brought him down. Edwards just manages to hold on. Nigel Wright starts to step inside Hanley, keeps the ball alive to Edwards again. Mather was calling for the kick over the top. It went in the end to Robinson. Robinson with 2 tries is on a hat-trick. A Leeds hand got to that, and Alan Tate has the ball back for the Yorkshiremen.
They're just keeping the ball alive now, aren't they? They're enjoying their football. Wigan really are on the boil. Robinson trying to keep that ball alive there is so explosive. You can sense the crowd just lift every time he touches the football.
And the Wigan crowd start to get behind their team. They know how vital this victory, if it turns into a victory, could be for them tonight, as the quest continues for the Stones Bidder Championship. Ball's back with Holdroyd. Bottica just shuttled across and collected. This is Ellison. 10 minutes, second half gone, as you were at half time. Doug Lawton asking Leeds to keep the score as it was until 20 minutes into this second half. So far, plan A is working. But Wigan have had a lot of possession. Edwards. Paul dummy half. Clark. Playing well, as Steve-O says, is Phil Clark. Last tackle. Edwards. Shaped to kick, then did. It's a high ball. He kept his nerve, did Fallon. Fed Alan Tate, forward pass. Play on, says the referee. Iro. The speed of Iro, but great tackling from Lydon.
Good play by Leeds, keeping the ball alive there. Tate it was, and then Fallon combined, but that's not the best pass in the world. But what a great tackle from Lydon. He knew that he had to go pretty low on the big fella, Kevin Iro.
Here's Gary Rose, former Featherstone man, now very much in the Headingley colours with Leeds. Leeds born, Schofield to Hanley. And Wigan are watching Ellery Hanley like a hawk tonight. Harman, they're keeping the ball moving neatly. Schultz out to the far side. Fallon with the strength. Keeps the ball alive to Schofield, who took his eye off it.
Won't be happy with that, but good play by Fallon. He showed a lot of strength there, and it was quite clear. You could see that Gary Schofield was looking at the substitute Andrew Farrell. There's a big guy coming at him.
John Dorahy making another change, bringing Dennis Betts back and taking Mather off. So Andy Farrell stays on. Mather takes Betts' place on the bench. But 4 tries this season for Mather. Bell now for Wigan. Wigan captain present against Wigan captain past there. Skerrett met by Harman, but he still managed to get the ball away to Wright. Crunching tackle on Wright. Schofield with the boot to the ball. Good pressure from Schofield. But 6 to go for Wigan. Because Schofield made the play for the ball, had to play the ball with the boot. It's 6 more tackles for Wigan, and they're in possession with Clark.
He knows the importance, as Gary Schofield, that he's got to get possession back. While Wigan are just having the possession, they keep control of this game.
Botica, the dummy half. Skerrett and Hanley tangle off the ball. Robinson has it though. Robinson hurt there. He's clutching his right arm. Lydon has it, Nigel Wright rather has it for Wigan. But now it's with Fallon. Good run from Fallon this. Keeps the ball alive well. Tate back into a touch of trouble. Schultz. Oh, Wigan scrambling to cut the options down and doing it so well. Iro on the burst. Good tackling, Ellison.
Well, Leeds are keeping this ball alive, but there's no one running onto it with any venom. That looked forward to me.
Mercer has the venom.
They're just standing still. They've got to run onto this football.
Over the top from Innes, straight into the arms of Robinson. And Robinson wrestled to the ground by Alan Tate. Edwards. Now Gildart. The ball comes free. Referee says play on. It went backwards.
He lost it. It wasn't ripped out. That should be a scrum. A few words being spoken by referee John Holdsworth. He certainly lost that. Only a few fingers inside there. Pretty difficult, very wet conditions there.
Sam Panapa comes on for Joe Lydon. Another change by the Wigan coach. Panapa, the Kiwi, in his 3rd successive 1-year contract, replacing Joe Lydon. Lowe's the dummy half. Gary Rose.
Well, that substitution there, Joe Lydon, his defence has been very good today. And that means that the coach, John Dorey, not happy with the fact that they've just got this lead. He wants to make sure he needs more points. He realises that Leeds can bounce back.
And they can with Hanley. Perfect advert tonight on Sky Sports as to why this is the most physically demanding, roughest, toughest team sport in the world. Marvel at the tackles, marvel at the speed. Tremendous contest between these two heavyweight clubs in the big league. Remember, these players wearing very little protective armour underneath their jerseys. Just a touch of padding on the shoulders. Look at the challenges going in.
Yeah, look at it. Mercer in with a short one. Here it comes. Whoop. Contact time. There's a few being missed. That was heavy stuff. Crunch. The head goes back. Not a pretty sight. And should be banned from our game. I don't see them all, I know that. We do.
The Wigan captain just taking his time, getting some wind back into the lungs. That will certainly have shaken the marbles, but he's back in the thick of the action. Edwards, over the top from him. Big chase on here. Irving waited, and Wigan pounced.
Super kick. It's all about applying the pressure. No better side in the land that can do that than Wigan. A little kick over, the kick and chase game. He's controlling it now. Sean Edwards getting into first man, the jink over.
This is where Wigan, I think, are vulnerable when Io has it. The ball in field from Schofield to Hanley, and the referee says play on. Mercer and Skerritt tangling. The referee separates them, says, Hanley, you're in possession. Carry on with the game. No knock on. Mike, I get the impression this match is coming to the boil.
Yeah, tempers are fraying, aren't they? There's been a lot of talk out there. The Aussies call it sledging. Referee John Holdsworth realises that there's a lot of cautions being given out on the run. This crowd, the Wigan crowd, really getting behind the team, but they're also having a lot of problems. Every time that Leeds pass anything that's within doubt, and has got Wigan the same way as he got Leeds. Interference.
Yes, the same offence for which Holdsworth got Simon Irving in the first half. He gets Wigan for now. Just to the right of your picture, a man had strayed forward. The downtown rule.
There you can see John Holdsworth telling the players there was one out wide. He's saying you have to go back. You can't encroach the 5. That makes it even. 1 apiece.
And this from bang in front, and I rather fancy Simon Irving will take the 2 if he can kick this goal.
Well, I'd be a little bit more adventurous, I'm afraid. I would have gone. You'll see, this is the reason why. There's a Wigan player not making any attempt at the side of the referee. Looks like Edwards. You have to get back. You can't claim that you're tired. That's what Edwards were probably saying.
Irving then, to the crescendo of boos from the Wigan supporters, takes the 2 points, closes the gap to 8.
As I was saying, Eddie, I think I would have taken the gamble. I would have gone for 6 points. 15 metres out from the goal line. 2 points, okay, but when you're 10 points adrift, it's vital that you get those 6. I would have gone for the quick tap.
Well, who knows? They're getting the ball back from this. If they're over for 4 and then it becomes 6, the decision will be seen to be the correct one, but we'll have to wait and see. Oh, Nutt is picked up and dumped. Clark took him low down, hoisted him up, bang.
He just goes about his business, doesn't he, Phil Clark? A tireless worker in defence and attack.
It's getting frenetic. The referee, John Holdsworth, has going to have the devil's own job to keep this one with the lid on it. You can feel the temperature rising from up here.
Well, as I mentioned, the crowd, they're just lifting at anything.
Long kick downfield from Holroyd. The referee says that from Botica went backwards. I think that Botica and Wigan are lucky.
Well, perhaps the first impact was going backwards, but then the second one, that appeared to be going forward. You're right, Eddie.
Betts just back off the bench. Edwards, scampering run straight downfield. Oh, he's beaten Tate. Has he the pace? No question. Sean Edwards off the mark. A vital Wigan try. He rounded Tate. It was a question then of whether the Leeds defence could catch him, and Sean Edwards gets his try tally underway.
There's plenty of fans hate him, but the Wigan fans love him. The reason? This. I said he was taking control. Notice how he slowed the game down, did the little dummy, the shimmy, the step. He still has the speed. The cover's too late. What a great individual try from a super player. Look at this. Leeds hang off. Was he going to pass it? Is he going to kick it? Doesn't matter. Look at the step. Alan Tate had no chance. Off the right foot. Gets into top gear. Slides over. Super play.
Sean Edwards has a remarkable scoring record against Leeds. That's 7 out of the past 13 in which he scored tries, and from that range it's no problem for Botica. 26-12. Wigan have taken command.
Amazing how he just slows the play down. What happens there is that the gap's there. Takes the jink, away he goes. You must close in quickly. The step is there. Poor Alan Tate. Just up a little bit too far. Super stuff.
So coming up to 64 minutes of this match, Wigan on course for 3 wins out of 3. The message is out to the rest of the big league teams. They remain the side to topple. Scarrett. Hall at dummy half. Wigan are on a roll. Clark. The support is there from Edwards. He has right. It's 2 in a minute for Wigan. They've clicked into top gear in 60 seconds. Nigel Wright. First try for the new club. £150,000 worth. It was money well spent.
When the knife gets hot, the butter melts, and that's what happened. Look at Clark's running there. Super stuff. The Leeds defence was 6s and 7s. The switch back inside, good positioning. Edwards realised that his partner Wright would be there. But this man Clark, look how he runs over that advantage line. The Leeds defence had taken just 1 step when Clark had actually taken 4. Support play is paramount. 4 points is the result. Look at him running there. You can't hold back on defence like that. And one of the best support players in the world, Sean Edwards, lays on a try for his partner. And the ecstasy is there.
Nigel Wright, his first try in Wigan's colours. 6 touchdowns for Wakefield last season. And when this goes over from Botica, as I'm sure it will, Wigan have taken a stranglehold on this match against Leeds.
You can see Clark, he's got the ball there, he's into his stride. Look at the defence. They're just hanging back. You must move forward. He's taken 4, they've taken 1. The result, pass back inside. He's a great support player, Sean Edwards. And Nigel Wright will enjoy that, I'm sure.
So, 66 and Wigan 32-12 ahead. They're not done yet. Look at the run from Farrell.
The crowd say more of the same. It's a very subdued Leeds set of fans, and rightly so. They're back to their best. We thought it would take perhaps a little bit longer with a new coach. Looks like it's taken just 2 games because they really are in top gear now.
Panaper with this run. Iro and also Gary Rose bring him down. Last tackle. Leeds have made another change. I'll tell you when this bomb comes to ground. That might have snow on it. And the substitute who has just come on, Steve Parrish, let that one bounce. But Leeds struggling. There's Parrish, he's come on for James Lowes.
Well, it's the last throw of the dice by Doug Lawton. He knows this Wigan side is on the boil, trying to stop the tide. It's pretty hard when Wigan in a mood like this.
Mercer takes play the ball to himself. There was no one standing in front of him. That's perfectly legal. Hanley now, and forward pass is the referee's ruling. The ball from Holroyd was a short one, but was just forward.
Pretty hard to say there. I certainly couldn't see. Referee Holdsworth could. Well, he's tried his best, hasn't he, the youngster, Graham Holroyd, but he really has been up against a good combination in Wright and Edwards.
Dean Bell, tackled by Tate. Holroyd was there, so too was Hanley. This is Betts. It's been a quality performance from Wigan though, Steve-O.
Certainly has, and you have to take the hat off to their coach, John Dorrie. We mentioned just after the half-time break when he brought off a defender, Joe Lydon, who was doing a really good job in the defence department. And he brought on the freshman, Sam Panipert, a bit of speed because he knew he had to get more points. And boy, haven't they provided it with him.
They have started this season very strongly indeed. It's a little ominous for the rest. But the rest will not be giving up the chase after just 3 weeks of the season. Don't worry about that.
Well, perhaps the number 7, Sean Edwards, is just making it well known to his new coach after he was substituted for the first time in his career last week. And boy, is he back to his best. He's taken control of this. Some super kicks, nice passes. When he kicks, clicks and takes control, Wigan really are on the boil.
Well, I mentioned that the rest won't be throwing the towel in, and Warrington against St Helens is the fare we have for you on the big league on Sunday. The whole match as live, 7 o'clock. Last tackle. Holroyd left-footed. Botica on first bounce. Robinson. Good tackling. Great tackle from Craig Innes. Edwards, Clark, Skerrett. Minutes to go. 32 to Wigan and 12 to Leeds. Wright. Ball comes out, and Wright was trying to keep the ball alive there, and Mercer did well.
Trying to be a little bit too fancy there, Nigel Wright, but when you've got so much lead, you can afford to do that.
Iro standing in the tackle. Paniper had him downstairs, and he was finished off upstairs by Gildart. Schultz just hangs on to it. Hanley takes over.
Oh, it's terrier-like defence, isn't it? Just about to say that they've kept a pretty close mark on Kevin Iro. We mentioned before the game that you've got to get to him quickly, shut him down. Well, they've done that. But they've also done that with the other 12 as well for Leeds.
You would never believe the way Wigan are tackling and hunting that loose ball, that they are 20 points ahead. Here's Robinson.
Read that well, did Botica, but full credit to the youngster Holroyd. Even though they're well down, he's still trying his skills.
Hall finds Farrell.
Well, I'm sure the word would have gone out now to the Wigan players, now that the game is well and truly wrapped up. Let's put on the moves that we've tried at the training park. Let's go through the routines. This is a great chance to do it.
Edwards with the diagonal kick over the top. And that won't run dead either. Tate must work this ball away from the danger zone.
It's as though he's got it on a piece of string. It's been a marvellous kicking performance from Edwards.
Champions, a record 14 times in all, Wigan. Odds-on favourites to lift the big league title again this season. Leeds, one of the sides who perhaps could run them close, and they have been demolished in the second half here at Central Park. A significant night, perhaps, in the 93-94 season. Mercer trying to keep the ball alive. Referee says play on. Tate drops it. Alan Tate, not happy.
Bit scrappy. When it all goes wrong for you, it becomes horrible. Can't believe it. Alan Tate, he's had plenty to do. When you're the last line of defence against a side that's running hot like this, it's obvious that you've got to do a lot of work. A few words between the halfbacks.
Oh, he jumped under that challenge then. That's a strong run from Ellison. Lost the footwear in the process. Edwards to Bell. Bell straightens up. Edwards. Clark on the diagonal run. Standing, looking to unload the ball, taking the tackle. Couldn't get it away. Wigan coming forward again with Edwards.
He's having the time of his life, is Shaun Edwards, and so is Phil Clark.
Panama brought to ground by Iro. Last tackle. Edwards screamed for that ball. So did Bell. And he was just halted 6 meters short of the line, and then he slid the other two.
Penalty given, holding the man down. Edwards again held up the ball late. No chance there for the fullback Tate to get away and play the ball. Seemed like an eternity, didn't it?
So Holroyd with this penalty. Nothing to choose in that department between these two sides, but plenty to choose on the scoreboard. 32 points to Wigan and 12 to Leeds. Always going to be an uphill battle for Leeds tonight. They've only won on this ground 3 times in 20 years. Mercer with a long pass to Iro. Now Innes is there, but Iro might not need him. This is a storming run from Iro. But Clark, the man who brought him down.
I think he's gone down pretty awkwardly as well. The big fella is in pain.
Yes, he crumpled in a heap after he played that ball. Leeds will come forward with Harman, who drops it. Referee says play on as Mercer picks up the pieces. Mercer over the top, inventive play. Hanley is there, Schofield is there, Wigan's there. They can't dig the ball out.
Good play by Mercer, but it was a case of too many cooks spoil the broth. You have it. No, I'll have it. Why don't you have it? No. It just has not been Leeds' night.
Iro's limping after the injury. Leeds have the feed at this scrum. Less than 4 minutes to go. This is the substitute Parish. Matt Schultz urging his team to one last big effort for a consolation try. Schultz says the ball was stolen, and referee Holsworth agrees. Tap penalty quickly taken by Hanley. Going on his own, Hanley. Gildart, Skerritt, Bottiger keep him out. Tate from dummy half.
Great defence there by Betts. You could see how he took the ball and all, kept him above off the ground.
So close, Leeds. Schultz in possession. Wigan are defending for all they're worth. Schofield almost through. Again hauled back. That's 4 tackles, and Leeds are less than a metre from the Wigan line. Schofield chips to the head himself. No, it's a knock-on. No try.
I think Schofield missed a chance, tried to kick through. There's a kick through, it bounces back, and he's got it for a knock on. just the fingertips.
As you say, Steve-O, not Leeds night.
They haven't been allowed to play, but I wonder whether if we could turn the clock back. Remember when they went for those 2 points, when I thought it would be better to apply the pressure, they still were in with a chance there. The pressure was taken off, they got the 2 points, but Wigan came back upfield, and from there on in, it's been one-way traffic.
Well, you called it. You said you'd have gambled, and perhaps Leeds should have done now. But hindsight is a wonderful thing. Great game, though. Power displayed from Wigan. Hardly put a foot wrong, have they?
No, they've only been caught out on a couple of occasions.
Look at the way they're still tackling. The game's well won. 2 minutes on the timekeeper's clock. And yet they're tackling like demons and forcing these errors from Leeds. But can Holroyd produce something here? The answer in the negative.
Wouldn't be best pleased with that effort, giving no chance for his winger to get anywhere near that pass. Will we see a flourish from the Wigan side? Will they pull a move at the base of the scrum? They scored a wonderful try in the first half with a move where they spun the scrum round onto the the open side so that Clark could pick up and dash to the blind side. Maybe we could get that.
Lydon has come on to replace Edwards, and Lydon goes into scrum half. Lydon replacing the man of the match locally. Wigan have named Shaun Edwards their man of the match. We're into stoppage time. It's now in the hands of the timekeepers. Wigan with a famous victory under their belts. Clark still running strongly.
He certainly must have run Shaun Edwards close for the man of the match, but it doesn't matter. Those two really have combined well.
Harman with the tackle on Platt. Last tackle, it's back to Lydon, who was looking for the drop goal. He hasn't actually scored for Wigan since the drop goal against Halifax that maintained Wigan's Wembley run last season, and he was looking for another one-pointer here.
Well, he won't be happy with that. You don't get many options to see Joe Lydon making a real meal of that.
Mercer with the run. 60 seconds of stoppage time has elapsed. Schofield to Holroyd.
There's been some scintillating tries scored by Wigan, but I think the thing that's impressed me more than anything has been their defensive quality. Their one line of defence and their second line where they come across, they scramble back, then just don't give them the opportunity.
That's good play from Schofield. He's given it to Hanley. Hanley's in for his second. Leeds have finished with a try right to the death. Consolation, the name of the game. But Hanley, the man who will continue playing right to the final siren. That's his second of this match. Try number 4 of the season.
Well, it finally pays off. Schofield tried the kick over. Beautiful play. Good support. Look at the strength there of Hanley. Just brushed off Robinson as though he wasn't there. Strong player, but it's to no avail. Nice play by Schofield. The two veterans combining well.
Hanley gives the Leeds crowd who have come here a wave. Schofield doesn't look too happy. And he gives the Wigan crowd a wave too. And Irving adds the extra 2 for Leeds, and respectability for Leeds on the score sheet as the final siren sounds. A famous victory for Wigan. Jason Robinson certainly certainly caught the eye. I'm sure he caught the eye of Malcolm Reilly, the Great Britain coach. And Sean Edwards, substituted just before the end by Joe Lydon. But what a match he played. Ellery Hanley took 2 tries out of this match, but he will not take any other comfort away from this. And that's the best kept secret of the night. Michael Aspel moves in, and Dean Bell will be the subject of a This Is Your Life programme later on in the year. Ellery Hanley shaking his hand, and Dean Bell will disappear to a theatre, and then we will get the life story of the Wigan captain. Great moment for Bell, taken completely by surprise. He knew nothing about it, we all did, the best kept secret. But the biggest secret tonight is that Wigan remain the side to beat in the big league title chase.